if we can get to that spot of just owning who we are, removing the roadblocks and being open to hearing people that have done it before, that have had success, and not get in like comparison or jealousy or any of that, I think we'll be wildly successful however we find that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of It Takes Grit. I have got Courtney Weaver in the house today. She is a multiple 6-7-figure business owner who helps women find their purpose and build wealth. Well, you are absolutely perfect for this podcast. I'm super excited to have you here. Courtney, how are you feeling today?
Thank you for having me. Hello. I'm so excited to be here. I'm honored. Sister, friend, thank you so much for the invite. I'm excited to chat with you.
No, we bonded and I felt like we just clicked over so many different things when we got to meet each other at Chris Harder's mastermind. And I was like, I want this girl on my podcast. And I had been stalking your Instagram reels, your eyebrows. I'm just like dying for the way that, you know what? You in fact sold me a new brush the other day because I didn't realize there was something called a crease brush thing for your eyebrows. Game changer. So I ended up spending $300 at Instacart's Sephora, thanks to you after just wanting one brush. So
I love it.
I'm super inspired to up my makeup game. But what we're going to go through today is finding how to find your clients online, because Courtney is also part of a network marketing company as well, creating content that fits you, overcoming your biggest setbacks, and navigating business with a partner, because Michael, your partner, is amazing and I absolutely adore him, and just navigating how that figures out with creating a business, and if you really need somebody there alongside of you, or what difference that makes. But first of all, I want to get started with you, your story, where are you from, and how did you get to being this, multiple 6-7-figure businesswoman? It's amazing.
It's a pretty boring story, to be honest with you. And I think that that's probably the most fun. And I think a lot of your listeners will relate to that. There's no like big monumental thing that happened. I'm from a small, tiny town in north central Missouri. So I'm in the Midwest. I'm in a flyover state. And I really have just always wanted more for my life. I knew that I was called for more. And so I'm a high achiever. I'm an Enneagram 3. If anyone studies the Enneagram, I absolutely love to achieve and set goals. And so I went to college. I graduated in 3 years. I got into corporate America, hustled my butt off, and realized that there was a ceiling. There was a real evident ceiling of exchanging time for money. And I watched my mom work. She had her own hair salon. She built her first business when she was 19. And then I watched my dad, who was in education, a very typical structured 9-to-5 job. So I had these two polar opposites, and they're both amazing human beings and taught me hard work and all of this. But I really just craved freedom. And I really wanted to create my own schedule. So I actually, I'm a makeup artist. After I graduated college, I started hustling. I loved makeup. I started freelancing. I did fitness competitions, started doing all of the makeup backstage, which was so much fun. And then I realized that this is something that people actually need. They actually want to feel beautiful on the inside and on the outside. And so I started freelancing and hustling. And then I hit the world of YouTube, and I wanted to be one of those YouTube influencers way back in the day. And it's hard work. It is really hard work to become a beauty influencer. And I thought to myself, there's got to be a way that I can reach more people and make an income with little to no followers. Like, how do I do that? How do I create wealth? And I kept coming up on residual income. Everyone kept talking about it, making money while you sleep, all of this, which led me to network marketing. And network marketing changed the game for me. It literally changed the game. It tested everything that I had. It tested, what I could bring to the table, because social media is a loud, noisy place. So it's really, how do you show up authentically as yourself and bring value to the people that you're trying to talk to? And so I just got really obsessed with the process and figured out what the top of the company was. And I remember when I enrolled, I didn't even know my leader. I didn't know anything about her or the organization, but I loved the company. So I did, and you know this, like within teams, things change and all of that. But I remember telling her, I will be the first person that you've ever enrolled that will hit the top of the company. And I was, because I was so obsessed with that. And it wasn't even about me. It was about how many people can I bring along on this journey that will make wealth, that will make a difference. And not everyone wants to make $60,000 a month or whatever that looks like. But if I can help somebody make $500 a month, and that's the difference between them paying their mortgage and them not, I will do whatever the hell it takes for that to happen. And so that's why I'm still here. It's been almost 3 years, is because it's not just about me anymore. It's about all of these lives that we're impacting. Like, this is a real solution to create generational wealth. So I'm obsessed with it. So that's my story in a nutshell.
I love it. I'm obsessed with it too. I've been doing network marketing for, it'll be 8 years in June.
Oh
and I am more excited now than I was when I got started. Like, I am fired up. Like, I've seen, people go from, in my team, they're just sharing their story just the other day, from $175 in their first month. One girl made $11,000 last month. And that's in 3 years, like just loving and helping and serving and making a difference. And now my goal is like, right, you made 11K. I want to help you make 20K. I want to help you make 30K. And I want a brand new person make $300, because $300, when you're making $2,000 a month less, that's a lot of extra money. Like, it's a lot of extra money. So I just love that opportunity. And, with the other businesses, you can't bring everybody along with you. You can't do it. It's not possible. But network marketing, you can give everybody the opportunity that you have had, which is why I get so fired up about it. And I love it. I just absolutely love it. So I'm so glad that we're on the same page with everything that happens there. And congrats on all your success, and just deciding to go for it. Because I feel like at the beginning, everybody gets negativity. Everybody gets that one person that tries to throw you off. What was your journey like when you first got started? And how would you share with someone, how to get over people saying no, and people saying, why are you doing this, and all that bullshit? So what was your experience at the beginning?
I will be honest, I have a pretty great support system, but the person that was getting in my way was myself. Like, I was the one who was obsessing over what it looked like, or what people would say, or I had my own fear of judgment or shame, or, oh my gosh, these people are going to talk about me. And it really got to the point where, if I could tell anyone something when they're first getting started, just speak to one person, like one person every single day. And a lot of times you are going to get kicked in the teeth. Like, you're going to get told no. That's just part of life. Like, you get told no from the time that you're a child. Like, we know this is coming, and it hits hard. But majority of us let the story and the no that we've created in our head play out so much that we won't even have the conversation. Like, we'll sit and worry and overwhelm and stress over action. And that's what kills us. Like, that's our Achilles heel. It's, instead of worrying about what people will think, or worrying about like, oh, they're going to tell me no, or all of this, just start having the conversation more, getting into action more, because that's how you build confidence. And that's how you build confidence and integrity within yourself. Like, you have to keep integrity with yourself. If you say that you're going to get up and you're going to do these 3 things to work your business every single day, you better damn well do it. Like, that's keeping integrity with yourself. So that's the biggest thing. You got to keep integrity with yourself.
I teach that too. Just one person a day, like one new person a day. So how are you finding your clients online?
Instagram is huge right now, and I am all about connection, like personal connection. So I love Instagram, obviously putting out the reels, the content, the IGTV. Content is king, but to me, conversion is queen. So I can kick out content all day long, but I really want to be able to connect with those people and get them from potential customers or potential, teammates to, I want them in my circle. Because it's one thing if I can sell somebody a mascara, or I can show a fun brush on Instagram. It's a whole different thing if I can get you here and I can teach you how to make wealth for yourself. And that's my whole goal. So that's where I'm finding my customers, is really having everything goes down in the DMs for the most part for me. So it's just really creating those connections, and then making sure that I'm showing up and creating content. I mean, especially in my industry, I have to keep showing, because what seems basic to me is not basic to everyone else. So showing all that content, you got to be everywhere. And you got to be smart about it too. Like, you can take your content and you can repurpose it and you can share it and you can email your customers and you can text your customers, but they need to know that you're still open for business. I think that's the biggest thing is, taking care of your current customer database, serving your current customers, and then thinking, how do I grow these customers? So I don't know if that answers your question, but I'm that kind of person.
Absolutely. And how do you figure out what content that you want to create? Or if someone's brand new and they're like, oh my goodness, I'm, starting a new business, like, what do I make? How do I even start?
In my business, it's really, I have it all laid out when I train. So I talk about, okay, like in your first 14 days, this is what you're going to want to talk about. But I think anyone that's wanting to talk about, creating a content plan, the biggest thing would be, what do you like talking about? Number one, like, what do you get really fired up to talk about? And number two, what are you good at? Like, what's one thing that you're good at? And you don't even have to be the best. But if it's a skill set of yours, it's a gift and talent that you were given, and it's your job to share that. So I think that is huge. It's going to look very different on every person. Just because you're in the beauty business or health and wellness doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're talking about. This is just a platform for you to share whatever the hell you want to talk about that brings value to your audience. So whether that's being aligned with money, or how to do the perfect smoky eye, or the best exercises for your butt, whatever that looks like, whatever you want to talk about, your audience is out there and ready for you.
And I think you do such a great job of getting that balance between like lifestyle and then things that are navigating towards your business. Because I feel like sometimes we feel like, okay, we've just started this new business. We just have to, like, every single post has to be a picture of a shake or a brush or something. It's like, no, you just get to like embed what you're doing in your lifestyle as if you were a Kardashian. Like, that's basically how they built so big, is they just documented their whole life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the business, the not business, the kids, the lifestyle, everything.
Yeah, because people have to trust you. And the only way that people trust you is if they get to know you. So you have to be comfortable sharing whatever parts that you want to share, but take them on a journey with you. Because it's not about, look at me, I'm this. It's, hey, come with me. Let's do this together. Because I never want it to be about, look at me, because then I've missed the whole point. So yeah, the Kardashians, they made an industry, and we just have to do our part in showing what our reality TV show looks like.
Yeah, and it's so important. So you don't want to have that look at me. And so if you are like, oh my goodness, I just get worried about putting myself on social media because I don't want people to look at me, like, great, that's the whole point. We don't want them looking at you. We want them thinking like, oh my goodness, I can do this as well. Like, this girl, like, she struggled with this, or like, this is happening in her life. Like, me too. It's all of those me too moments that make you feel like, oh, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that too. And it's, those connection points of, again, you talk about this, and this is a great place to start when you talk about your why and you talk about your story. If you have overcome something, there's a reason you were given that mountain to climb it. Share that story with somebody, because it really does connect you in that Me Too fashion. And that's what we all want. We want to find our people. That's why we're on social media. We want to find people that we aspire to be, and people that have gone through similar things, and people that can bring us up. So
you said something at the beginning that you were the person that was actually getting in your own way when it came to creating business and finding clients and, getting started. What was the fears that you had, and how did you overcome it?
Oh my gosh, I think I had every fear there was. So again, I'm an Enneagram 3. So I like to perform, I like to be on a stage, I like to achieve. Well, with that, at least for me, there's doubt of imposter syndrome. Who am I to do this? You're not good enough. Somebody else is doing it better. They've already done it. All of these things. And for me to get through that, obviously I've done a lot of work. I think any entrepreneur should always be learning, and always be growing and self-developing. But not only that, I stopped looking at it as I was the performer on the stage, and I looked at my social media like a science experiment. Like, what is working well and what's not working well? And I removed myself out of the equation. It's not, oh, well, your hair looks like crap in this post, so that's probably why people don't like it. It's no, let's look at this and really see, am I giving value? What do I have calls to action? Is this in line with my brand pillars? Like, is this like what's really going on here? So I think for me, it was stepping out of the equation, getting into action, doing the work, continuing to self-develop, and then looking at it like a science experiment.
And that's what it is. It's tracking which of your posts do well. And it's honestly, it's
Yep.
got nothing to do with you.
Yep.
It's got nothing to do with you. It's just like, hey, does somebody like it? I mean, I just put up a stupid TikTok because I got this little burn on my.
I saw it. I loved it.
Do you know why? Did you see the video of me coming down the stairs? Yeah. And it's so funny because really that was all just an outtake video, and it's probably going to do better than the actual video that I was trying to do. And I'm trying to come down this. I'm like, I am too old for this. I'm going to be turning 33 in a couple of weeks' time. Like, what am I doing? But my team on our Monday team call, they were like, yeah, you need to like come into your TikToks, like more fun, more exciting. I'm like, okay, cool. So like, I'll try and slide down the stairs. That was me attempting to do something. And just been like, you know what? Someone has an idea. I'm just going to run with it and we'll see what happens. I ended up actually just jumping over the banister for the actual video that I used. But I feel like the sliding down one is actually going to be, it's going to probably do better because it's just silly.
Well, and you bring up a good point right there, because a lot of people won't take that initiative. So when you're coachable, you're open, you're like, okay, let's go for it. And I think that's huge to your success. And I don't know if you credit that to part of your success, but I would say that that's a huge factor in that. Your team brings you an idea, you're coachable, and you say, yeah, let's do it. And you implement it right away. You don't sit on it. You don't worry about it. You don't obsess. You don't go see who else is doing it on TikTok. You just do it. So I think that that's huge.
I appreciate that. And it's interesting because I was having a conversation. Someone the other day asked me, do you think that a leader, it's innate in somebody? Do you think they're born with it? Do you think they are at? And my response was, I believe that you can be a leader as long as you are ready to be taught. I think that you don't necessarily, I think there's definitely some innate skills in somebody that are born. But if you're not ready to be taught and learn and be open, I don't think that you can be a leader. So I think for me, that is the difference when I see people that come through my network marketing team and I know who can be a leader and who might not make it. It's the people who are coachable. So what's your idea on, is somebody born as a leader or can you be taught how to become a leader?
I agree with you. And I have this conversation a lot, the nature nurture thing on, are you born? I think that some probably do have a skill set that innately they're born with, more leadership or whatever that looks like, leadership qualities. But I think it's always up to us to really take action with that. And being coachable is probably the most important part of leadership. Like, you were spot on with that, because all of us get here by learning and growing and being open and receptive to receiving that information. And if we're not open and receptive to it, then it goes one ear and out the other. And then we go back to doing what we've always been doing, and it's habitual. So I would agree with you. I think that I firmly believe, though, that anyone can learn and do anything. Like, really, as human beings, I think we've just barely scratched the surface of what we're capable of. So I think if we can get to that spot of just owning who we are, removing the roadblocks and being open to hearing people that have done it before, that have had success, and not get in like comparison or jealousy or any of that, I think we'll be wildly successful, however we define that.
Yeah, remain teachable and stay close to the fire.
Ooh, yeah.
They're my two things that when I get somebody new who's starting out, it's like you have to just keep showing up to the trainings. You have to be teachable. If someone suggests to do something or to try something, do it, and then stay close to the fire. Because you see it that like somebody starts off really great. They're hanging around the group, or you're hanging around a group of people who are, into fitness. And then what happens is you stop hanging out with those people. You stop going to the gym. You stop eating healthy. You've moved away from the fire. And therefore you've then gone back to your old eating habits, not working out, and maybe you're hanging out with those toxic people again. So I'm a strong believer of like, stay close to the fire if you want to keep yourself burning alive, like burning and the energy.
I love that. I've never heard it put like that, but stay close to the fire is perfect. I'm going to use that.
I love it. Awesome. Cool. All right. So moving on, Now let's talk about navigating business with a partner. So
Mm.
my story is interesting because that's why I love you and Michael. It's like, that's honestly my dream. I like look at you two and you guys are like, oh my God, we got this business idea and you're both like on the same freaking page. How did you make that happen? Because I have not been able to be successful in getting a partner to be like super on the same page of business with me. And like, how do you navigate it? How do you do it?
I I wish I could come up with an answer, but I think that that's just how we're wired. So Michael's an Enneagram 1. So the ones are the perfectionists, but they like to get things done. I'm a 3, so I also like to get things done. So we've always been like that. I remember before we started dating, so I was in my early 20s, I was the girl who had all of these goals, but I would never follow through on them. So that's why integrity is very big for me, because I've worked really hard to flex that integrity muscle within myself. So I remember I wanted to run a half marathon and we had just started dating. And he's like, okay, the only way we're going to do this is if we do this together. And that was kind of the first yes. So he trained with me, ran the whole race with me. I'm surprised we're still together. The nasty things that I would say when I was running, I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. But it really kind of laid the tracks on our foundation of we're a partnership and things that we do, we're going to do together, because we learned a long time ago, him and I, and not every relationship is like this, but in our relationship, as two entrepreneurs, we're better when we come together than we are when we try to separate and do our own thing. Like we just have opposite skill sets. So we know that. And we've both put our egos to the side. I think that's a big thing, at least with us. In a relationship, it's not who has more power, who has more fame, who has more money. It's we're doing this for the common good to serve with our gifts and talents. And they look very different, but we need to do it together and put our egos to the side. So, and he's a hell of a lot of fun. I really think that that is like the big part of it. Like he's my favorite human to be around on the entire planet. Like so much fun.
Well, that definitely helps when you're in a relationship and you're married.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. And I'm sure that you've seen so many people who have come into your network marketing business or just business who are like, hey, my partner's just not stoked. I mean, I find that too, when especially with women, they go and say, hey, I'm going to ask my husband if I can do this. I'm going to ask my partner. I've never asked jack shit from anyone if I can do anything. I'm just like, this is what I'm doing. You're either on board or not. Like I'm going with that. But how do you instill confidence into a woman that comes to you and is like, hey, I really want to do this, but my partner's just not supportive, or they're like, hey, I don't want you to do this?
That is so hard for me, because for me in this business, especially network marketing, I believe you either have a supportive partner or you don't. Like you don't have a partner at all, because this business gets really tough. And so you have to have, for me, it's more of a backtrack on that conversation. Like, hey, my partner's not supportive. First, the communication that you need to have between your partner of what is the expectation for this business too. And setting up clear train tracks almost of what are your goals? Why are you doing this? I think communicating that with your partner, why you're doing this, how much time it's going to look like, and what it's going to do for the family. I think we skip that step. We just jump in because we're like, okay, this is what I really want to do. We don't have that conversation, which is a very big conversation to have with your partner. And then you're, on your phone, you're doing Zooms at night, you're doing all of this work, but your partner doesn't know, because you haven't clearly set the expectations of what you guys are working towards. So if you have that clear conversation in the beginning of, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, and really asking for support instead of telling them, hey, I'm doing this, ask for support. I really need your support behind this, because I am going to doubt myself and I'm going to get in my own way every single day. So I need somebody in my corner when I'm not in my corner. So I think before you even get to the spot of joining a network marketing company or whatever you're doing, I think communication with your partner on expectations, goals, and dreams together. I mean, isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? Having fun and dreaming together? Isn't that why majority of us sign up to make more money, is to benefit our family, to benefit our future family? So
I think that's really key, is having that conversation of why, like, hey, I'm really passionate about this. I love the products and I want to be able to help other people. I think if you frame it in the right way, and one thing that my mentor always told me, because when I first got started, I helped my mom lose 42 pounds on the products, and she'd been trying to lose weight for 26 years. And
Oh my God.
I found the solution, like I'm excited. But my dad was just not as like into it. And I was like, why won't you just try the products? So my mentor said to use this line, Dad, will you help me? And that words, will you help me? And of course, someone's going to be like, of course. Then you go, great. I need you to try these products and get a testimonial for me. And they've already said, okay, you're going to help me. And so I think that language too, like, hey, I'm really excited about this. I feel great myself. Like, will you help me? And then that line, they're going, well, yeah, of course. And then you just put in what they need to do, right? But we're always going to have that one or two people that say, I'm just not sure about it. It's not. But if you know in your heart, and you can see other people that you want to be like, it's like, you got to stay true to yourself and strong. I had someone the other day, they were like, oh, well, my boyfriend said, if I do this, like it's me or this. And it's just like, if you want to be with somebody like that, who isn't open to your communication, that's something that you're going to have to decide on. But I just feel like, being a woman and owning your own money and standing true to that is absolutely key for a successful life, because we don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And I'm super passionate about that, because I've seen women stay in places that they shouldn't stay because of money. And so I think having a good, healthy relationship with money, but also a good, healthy relationship with yourself and your goals and your dreams and why you want something first. And then I love that, asking for help. I mean, like that, anytime somebody says, will you help me? Of course, we're all going to go, yeah, what do you need?
Yeah.
I love
that line.
So
it's a sneaky line, but it definitely works. So what is coming up for you this year? What are you most excited about?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, to start connecting with people again in person. I'm really ready for that. Again, we haven't been able to do a ton of events, so I want to get back to doing that. But Michael and I have a few projects that we're working on together. So that will be the bulk of our year. So last year was a really big year for us as individuals. So this year is our year. We have a couple products that are launching in June, and then we have some that are coming later on in the fall. So I'm excited to announce those when I can.
Oh my goodness, I'm super excited. You guys are going to create magic together. And where can they find all of this magic? Tell us all your social media platforms.
Yeah.
Where they find you.
So my social media platforms on everything is Courtney Vi, and that's VIE. It's my first name and my middle name. Thank you to my parents for creating my brand for me at birth. But yeah, everywhere, all the socials, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Please connect with me. Please slide up in my DMs. I absolutely love connecting.
Yay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Courtney. I can't wait to see you again in September, where we get to reunite at the mastermind. But thank you so much for joining. Everybody who'd listened, watched this week's episode, make sure that you go give Courtney a follow, go give her some love, say thank you, and we will see you next week on the Educate Script podcast. Bye, guys.
Thank you.